Hello and welcome to Our Irish Life. In today's video we are going to be showing you how to make a traditional Irish stew. So this is going to be done using my Granny Imelda's mother's recipe, so my great granny. And it is a really simple recipe, it doesn't use anything fancy, and the kind of texture of the stew is definitely more of a soup. It's not very thick like what a casserole would be. I know there are lots of different variations on how to do this. Some people prefer it with a thicker sauce and lots of different ingredients, which is fine, but we are going to be keeping it simple by following my grandmother's mother's recipe. So even though it is nice and sunny behind us, it is a very chilly autumn day. So it's a perfect time to learn how to do this because it's real comfort food and it's really super tasty. So we'll go through all the steps with you and show you how to do it so that if you would like to recreate it yourself, then you can. Right, we get going, won't we?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have all of our ingredients laid out that we need for the stew. It's not all going to happen all at the one time. It's kind of an over the day process. Also, this can be done in a slow cooker, but we have found that it just doesn't turn out quite as nice because you need to bring it to the boil first and then turn it down and cook it all day. So I know some people have quite fancy slow cookers and pressure cookers and stuff where you can saute things before you do it and bring things to the boil, so that could be an option for you. But this is the way we've always done it because we find it just comes out nicer. Also, Gran, when she was doing stew before, has also always done kind of a combination of things that you could have. So some of the family like what we call dumplings. Now these aren't like the Chinese style dumplings, they're kind of like a fluffy, almost like bread-like texture.
Yeah, they are. It is a type of bread.
It's a type of bread. So yeah, we'll show you how to make the dumplings that go with traditional Irish stew because they may be something that you've never had before. I haven't come across it in very many places.
No.
So let us know if you guys have had dumplings with stew when you were younger as well. Please let us know because I'd be interested to know how many other people know about these.
People call dumplings in Spain, but they're pasta.
Yeah, I know. There's so many different types of dumplings. So if you've ever heard of Irish stew dumplings, then do let us know because they are quite a unique thing and I haven't come across it in many places. So we'll show you how to make the dumplings, and then some of us also prefer to have it with potatoes. So you can cook the potatoes in the stew, which they turn out really lovely because they soak up all that lovely stew kind of flavouring and just give it a bit of added flavour. But in today's one, we are not going to be cooking them in the stew because we don't want to thicken it too much because we are going to be making the dumplings. But just to note that that is an option. If you want to cook your potatoes in the stew, then I'll let you know at what point you add them in and then you just let them soften then. So here is our ingredients then. So we have two large carrots just kind of chopped up in slices, and we have one medium onion just roughly chopped as well, so it's not too small, it's kind of thicker chunks. And then I have my diced steak here. You can use stewing beef as well. It is a little bit fattier and will add a bit of flavour, but sometimes it is a little bit tough and chewy. So I've tried diced steak before and it has worked well, so we're going to go with that for today. So we have the family pack here from Aldi. So then for the dumplings then we are going to be using self-raising flour and this vegetable suet here, which we can't find this in a lot of places, but we do find it in Tesco, and sometimes you have to ask them whereabouts it is, so just to note. And then we'll be adding Bisto to the stew later on. So we're going to show you how to get it started and we'll come back then later when it's ready for the next steps. So we'll just start with adding in the beef. So that is just going into our large pot here that I have ready. Just as it is, no seasoning or anything needed right now. So we have the beef in there. Next we're going in with the two large carrots and then the medium roughly chopped onion. Now to this then we're just literally going to be adding water. So we have all that in the pot there, and obviously the more water you add, the more soup you're going to have. So because there's a good few of us for stew today, since everyone heard it was being cooked, we're just going to pretty much 3/4 fill this big pot so that we have lots of soup, and especially to cook our dumplings in, because it's going to need to kind of float. Yeah, I'm going to get some more in now. I probably might need even another one after this.
No.
No? Don't think?
About that.
Yeah, I'm just going to add the rest just because it'll come down a little bit.
And you add salt and pepper to that.
Salt and pepper.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to add some salt and pepper to that then after adding our water. You can add the normal pepper, this is just what I have at the moment. So, right, and so we're going to pop this on then and bring it to the boil, and then we'll be turning it down low so it can cook like that for a few hours before the next steps. So we'll come back and show you how to pull it all together then. So this is what it looks like at the moment, and I'm just going to bring this to the boil there now and turn it down low. Okay, so now that that is bubbling away here, boiling, I am going to pop the lid on and just turn it right down low, so to number like kind of in between 1 and 2 on our hob, and then that'll cook away for a couple of hours, because I'm pretty sure there's a saying like a stew boiled is a stew spoiled, so you don't want it boiling for ages, you just want to bring it to the boil and then reduce it down low and cook it for the day. So I'll leave that on for a couple of hours and we'll come back and show you the next steps then. So this has been cooking away nicely here now for a couple of hours, and this is what it is looking like. So we're going to add in our Bisto now at this stage. You can add it closer to when you're going to eat it, but I'm going to add it in now. And this is the point I would normally add in the potatoes as well if I was cooking them in the soup, and then just keep an eye on them, and you'll know yourself then when you poke them if they're soft, because it just soaks up all that lovely juice. So we have our Bisto gravy powder here, and we're basically just following the instructions on the side. So we're going with 4 teaspoons of the powder into a cup, and then we're going to mix that with a little bit of cold water to make a paste, and then we'll add it to our stew. So we have this kind of paste here, just in case anyone would like to know what it looks like. And we're just going to start popping this into our stew a bit at a time. Sorry, it's a little bit difficult to record this having lost my proper camera holder, but we're going to go in with a little bit of this and then give it a nice stir. And some more, so just a little bit at a time. I kind of split it in 3 kind of normally. And if I don't have Bisto powder to hand, I have used gravy granules in the past and it has been perfectly fine. So just use what you would like. And as I said before, we don't make it into a thick kind of consistency. It is just like quite a thin soup, but it has lots of flavour. So if you prefer something thicker, then do just add a bit more. And Gran said that you can also add corn flour to the Bisto mix to thicken it up even that little bit more if that is what you prefer. And of course you can make it your own as well and add different things in to your own taste, but this is just the more traditional way of doing it that my great grandmother would have used and Gran uses as well. So there we have it. So I do have potatoes that I'm going to be cooking separately, so if you wanted to add potatoes in, it would be good to do it at this stage so it soaks up all the flavour, and then you just keep an eye on them like I said. So we'll come back in a little while and we will show you how to make the dumplings and cook them. They only take 20 minutes to cook in the soup, so we'll show you that just before we serve. So this is what the stew looks like, all thickened up now, and the meat is all tender and just falling apart. So we'll show you how to make the dumplings to go in it. Okay, so we're quickly going to show you how to pull together the dumplings then. The stew is all ready, and Gran said this takes about 20 minutes. So we're just going to pull these together, add them straight in, and then we'll be serving as well. I have my potatoes ready in another pot because I didn't cook them in the stew this time, so they'll all be ready to serve at the same time.
Flour first.
Okay, so we're going to go in with 1 cup of flour.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, so 1 cup of self-raising flour then. That kind of amount?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not a full cup, it's kind of 3/4 of this kind of size cup.
Because we're only doing 2, that's plenty.
Yeah, we're just doing 2 dumplings because the majority of us don't eat them, but Gran and my mum like them, so we're going to do 2. And then we have our vegetable suet then. So we have this little small cup here. I'm just going to show you in comparison. It's kind of half the size of that cup. And we just have half of this as well. Yeah. So we're just going to pour that straight in?
Yeah. We mix it in.
Mix it in with the flour.
And put the salt and pepper in.
Okay, a bit of salt and a shake of pepper as well. Now, okay, and then what way do we do? You kind of just squish it?
Yeah.
So very similar to like making a bread. You kind of just make a pastry. Yeah, sorry.
You don't rub it in.
You just kind of squish it in a little bit. Yeah. Okay, and then we're just going in with some water. Make a hole in the pastry in the flour in the middle. And then put all the water in or a bit at a time?
No.
Bit at a time?
Yeah.
Okay. And again?
Yeah.
Oh man, these are all sticky. Is it quite a sticky mixture?
Yeah, it can be, but I think you need more water. Okay,
will you pour a bit in for me there, just because my hands are sticky, please? Okay, so this is what it looks like up close then. Just exactly the steps you saw, and we've just separated them out into two separate dumplings. So Gran was also saying that the whole reason that dumplings started out was it was to kind of fill the soup almost, because there were so many people to feed that it would fill you up more having the dumplings, and then you'd use less of the stew. So there you go. There's
and you wouldn't have so much to eat,
Yeah. Oh yeah. So much economical. A way to stretch the stew to feed them all. So there you go. There's an interesting story to go with the stew. Okay, so we have the two separate dumplings here now, and our stew is bubbling away, so we are just going to pop those two straight into the stew like so.
Put the lid on.
And we put the lid on, okay. And we just pop the lid on then, and Gran says in 20 minutes they should be all done and ready. So we'll show you what it looks like at the end. I'm sure it'll be delicious. It smells lovely. So these are the dumplings now that they look like they're cooked. We're just going to take out the smaller of the two and just cut it open to make sure the middle is done. Okay, so we've just cut it in the middle to make sure that it's cooked all the way through, and as you can see it is. It's almost like just a little dough ball. Then, so we have a potato and a dumpling in this one, and it's all going to be super tasty and yummy. And this is what the one then without the dumplings looks like. Well, that is it from us for today. We thoroughly enjoyed our stew with the dumplings and potatoes. So we hope you now know what to do and you can recreate it yourself. Please let us know if you do and how you find it, if you enjoyed it or what the feedback is. We'd love to know. But thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope to see you again soon for more of Our Irish Life.